Good day. Here's the news at noon. First, the highlight. President Buhari commends Lagos Ogun State government for swift responses to reported case of coronavirus. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps warns Nigerians against traveling with huge cash. On the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau's president resigned after spending one day in office. And in sports, Nigeria's table tennis players receive commendation for Olympic qualification. Now the details. I am Oluwatunmise Oladapo Kuku. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the responses of the Federal Ministry of Health and Governance of Lagos and Ogun State, as well as other relevant agencies, to the reported incident of coronavirus COVID-19 in the country. Buhari, who called for vigilance on the part of all citizens and responsible government agencies, charged all to strictly observe the advisories disseminated by the Ministry of Health, Nigeria Center of Disease Control, and the World Health Organization. The president warned against unnecessary panic over the incident. According to him, the carrier of the deadly virus arrived in Nigeria in spite of the ardent efforts of the government regarding preparedness and response measures put in place in the nation's borders and beyond. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has again reassured Nigerians that the state remains committed to every effort yet towards preventing the human-to-human transmission of the coronavirus COVID-19. Sanwo-Olu said both the state and federal government healthcare officials have been working round the clock with infectious disease control professionals from international agencies to ensure countermeasures being deployed to contain the virus achieved the desired result. The governor said this during his visit to the state-owned biosecurity and containment facility at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, Lagos mainland, where the Italian national diagnosed with the COVID-19 is being managed.
At the end of the day, it's I believe that this will also go behind us very, very soon. Tomorrow, I've invited some of my fellow governors and some commissioners of health, especially around the southwest, just so that we can explain to them where we are, what we've been doing. We're also calling all our local government chairmen, our CDAs, our medical officers of health, our various local governments, and so we're permeating the information right down to all our various stakeholders, just so that we carry them along, we inform them where we are, and we'll also be able to let them understand the very little things that they need to take back to their community.
Sanwo-Olu, who urged Lagosians to remain calm, take their personal hygiene seriously, as well as live in a healthy environment, said his administration will continue to scale up advocacy to contain the spread of the coronavirus in the state. The governor also frowned at the price increase of safety kits, which included hand sanitizers, nose masks, amongst others.
This is something that is not laughable. It's not something that anybody wishes for, right? And in the event that people have it, you are hoarding it, or you are selling at 500, 600% over and above what you used to sell 2-3 days ago, I think it's unacceptable, and I think people should ask their conscience, what kind of life, what kind of people are we?
That was Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Lagosians have been urged to increase their personal hygiene by washing their hands properly with soap and water, as well as make use of hand sanitizers to contain the spread of coronavirus. Speaking on our morning program, Your Side, where a senior special assistant to Governor Sanwo-Olu on public health, Dr. Oluwatunmise, said that the state government is collaborating with the federal government, international agencies, and other development partners to tackle the disease. According to her, 60 health officials are currently stationed at the airport, manning the entry points based on shifting, assuring that all health workers are provided with personal safety kits. Fini identified symptoms of the virus to include history of travel, which could be primary or secondary, fever, body ache, respiratory issues, cough, cold, difficulty in breathing.
But if you have ability to wash your hands just before you come into your house, wash your hands. Wash your children's hands. If you're coughing, please cough into your elbow, not in your hands. Have hankies and tissue paper at the ready. If you don't have water immediately available, use the hand sanitizer. We're also going to tell people that if you have a cold or a cough, this is not the time to move around. Stay away until your cough and cold has been resolved. And if you need to talk to somebody that has a cough or cold, because not all cough and cold is corona, just keep 3 meters away from them. That 3 meters stands for 2 hand lengths.
Fini confirmed that only one case is still recorded in the state, and the Lagos state government has quarantined all the places where the index visited and followed up on all the passengers it flew into the country with. She urged passengers to fill their correct details when they come into the country and cooperate with the officials, while appealing to retailers of hand sanitizers not to hoard or increase the price of the products of public health concern. Dr. Fini enjoined Lagosians to call the following emergency hotlines: 0901 553 3333 or 0802 316 9485 to report any suspected case. Lagos State Commissioner for Education for Lashade Adefisayo has called on public and private schools, head teachers and school administrators, as well as pupils and students in the state to adopt prompt preventive measures against the outbreak of the coronavirus disease in schools. Adefisayo said it became imperative to prevent and contain the coronavirus and any other infectious disease from spreading in the state. While urging them not to panic, she reiterated that the state government has outlined plans and strategies to avert an outbreak. She urged head of schools and administrators to provide clean wash hand pan with water and soap alongside alcohol-based sanitizers at designated points within the school premises to prevent possible spread of the disease. The Minister of Health, Osage Hanire, has also assured Nigerians that the country is well prepared to tackle the scourge of coronavirus. Speaking in a television interview, Hanire noted that before the virus was imported to the country, an interministerial and multi-sectorial meeting took place in January in Abuja, which brought together Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC), Immigration, Customs, Nigerian Ports Authority, and other stakeholders. The minister, who commended the Lagos team for being proactive, said the federal government is collaborating with state governments in their public health departments.
The facility in Lagos serves the region with possibility of those who coming through Lagos Airport. You know that Lagos carries a by far larger volume of air traffic passengers than all the other airports.
Yanire said government is focusing more on the 5 international airports, of which 4 are functional at the moment in Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Rivers State, while also not losing focus on the possibility of importation by sea, which is minimal, as well as the land borders.
In Abuja, we have a similar facility at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, where we have an isolation facility, and also in Kano, we have one working with the state government. All these facilities are collaboration between the federal and the state governments.
That was the Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire. Now to the rest of the stories. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Adamawa State Command, has appealed to Nigerians to stop moving around or traveling with huge sums of money, instead to embrace the cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Its state commandant, Abdullahi Nuruddin, made the appeal while parading 4 notorious armed robbery suspects terrorizing travelers along the Ngorore, Numane, and Savannah highways in Adamawa State. Parading the suspects at the headquarters of the NSCDC in Yola, he reveals that the suspects were found with expensive clothing materials, mobile phones, machetes, and other dangerous weapons, as well as large sums of counterfeit money of different currencies, including Cameroon CFR and other fetish items. The 4 suspects also confessed their involvement in many robbery attacks on the highways. The Senate Committee on Industries has restated its commitment to return the Standards Organization of Nigeria's SON officials to the nation's seaports. Chairman, Senate Committee on Industries, Bayo Shinowo, stated this while expressing displeasure at the absence of SON at seaports, adding that the situation is quite unfortunate. He said the law that established SON states that it must be present at the nation's ports to monitor the standards of products being produced and imported into the country. Now to foreign news. One of the 2 men who had been declared president of Guinea-Bissau, Cipriano Kasama, resigned from office after just 1 full day. Despite not being in the December ballot, Kasama was appointed by Parliament, the majority of whose deputies have refused to acknowledge the election victory of the former opposition leader, Umaru Mbalol. Mbalol was sworn in as head of state on Thursday after the Electoral Commission had again declared him the winner of December's presidential vote. Despite the resignation of one president, Guinea-Bissau will still have two rival prime ministers. And now, sports Nigeria table tennis players have been commended for their feat at the Olympic qualifying tournament in Tunisia, where they secured qualification spots into the table tennis event of the Tokyo 2020 Games. Vice President of the African Table Tennis Federation, Wahid Oshodi, who gave the commendation, also lauded the extraordinary feat of Funke Oshonaike, who secured her seventh qualification, as well as Eden Ofion's heroics in Tunisia. He also praised Gideon Motayo and described him as the new face of the next generation, while lamenting Aaron Okwado's injury, which means he will have his Olympic qualification delayed. And that's the package for now. Just before we go, please watch out for road signs and adhere strictly to them. You can listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on our website, www.thetrafficradio961.ng. And follow us on our various social media platforms: on Twitter at Lagos Traffic 961, on Instagram Lagos Traffic, and on Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the responses of the Federal Ministry of Health and Governments of Lagos and Ogun State, as well as other relevant agencies, to the reported incident of coronavirus COVID-19 in the country. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Adamawa State Commander has appealed to Nigerians to stop moving around or traveling with huge sums of money, instead to embrace the cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We also told you that one of the two men who had been declared president of Guinea-Bissau, Cipriano Kasama, resigned from office after just one full day. And in sports, Nigeria table tennis players have been commended for their feat at the Olympic qualifying tournament in Tunisia, where they secured qualification spots into the table tennis event of the Tokyo 2020 Games. For contacts with the newsroom, you can send a message to newsroom@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adiola Akindele. I am Oluwatunmise. Oladapo. Kuku, good afternoon.